Can You Keep It Real with Alyssa Love?
Thursday nights starting at 8:05 p.m. on KXVS 92.1 FM, the voice of Stockton.
Welcome to the afternoon entertainment hour at OJ's Juice Bar, and here's today's Juice.
Listen to OJ's Juice Bar, Sundays at 4 p.m. on KXVS, the voice of Stockton.
The Third City Podcast is a production of Third City Coalition. In our show, we examine case studies in urban development in Stockton and other cities like Stockton across the country, exploring their local and regional impacts. Individual efforts play a role in Third City development, and it starts with you.
Do you want to relive the golden days of Stockton? Join Nate Knott on Stockton Alive every first and third Monday at 6 p.m. Tune into thevoiceofstockton.org.
KXVS, the voice of Stockton, live. The voice of Stockton at Stone Soup Studio. KXVS.org.
That Vigil show, and on a Sunday afternoon, I'm at 3 o'clock. Thank you, Joey, for starting the show. And I have my guest, Diana Buettner. She is an activist in Stockton, and really, people would know her as an activist. And she's here to tell me about the report, what's happening around Stockton. So I'm going to turn it over to her, and let's talk about. So, hi, welcome to my show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Okay, so tell me. I know in this happening in ADA compliant and accessible and opportunity, you're going to be talking about reality of what people with disability have to go through to be recognized, to be acknowledged, to have mostly discrimination. What it really is discrimination as second-class citizens and not taking us serious about it. Instead of complaining about it, we're not complaining about it. We're trying to find solution and service to get that opportunity. And just you noted that I put out a flyer. The disabled population is the world's largest minority, of which anyone can become part of any time. Do you agree with that?
I absolutely agree with that. I was born with a disability, and I have picked up several since then. Yes. Age has not been really kind to me, but the issue is that all people should have access to the services provided by our government. It's our government, not theirs. It's ours, and we are not second-class citizens. We should be treated just like everybody else, and that means accessibility needs to be addressed.
That's right. So now, yes, because a lot of people who work for the government that are being voted in have their agenda, but at the same time, they're not looking in the future what can be affected by them when they're out of office. Or they're using the politics as a career, they'll leave trail behind as they follow them. So whether you're getting in a car accident, somebody gave you some overdose of a PPC drug, and all of a sudden you become mental cocooning, and then you have to go to mental health issue, and you create a lot of disability. And so, it's just a number that eventually will grow out, because youth is very important. You know, you don't think about dying, you don't think about worry, you don't think about tiredness, you don't think about what other disease you might develop in the future and later in life. And you're only focused on money. Because, you know, I do believe medical are the biggest business of money that we provide them their economic. Is that right?
Oh, I can't trust and believe I spend a lot of money every month on medical. One of the things that I was told is that the ACA, when they give it to you, that there's this, what do they call it? They call it a, I love it when I have a brain fart. This is what happens when you get old. The thing is continuity of care, I think is what they call it. And you were supposed to, if you were transferring from another plan, you could get the same physicians, you could get the same kinds of care once you transferred. The Stockton Unified School District retired me 15 days prior to my being able to get my medical benefits, so I had no choice. I had to go to the ACA. And when I did that, I found out that the first year I did really well. I could afford the best plan, but that was a lot of money. This last year I had to go to the second best, or the bottom of the barrel of insurance, and it's the bottom of the barrel. I have a kidney transplant, and I am not allowed to go to my clinic, my transplant clinic, and that's a very important post-operative condition that needs to be addressed. And I'm already in stage 3 chronic kidney disease.
Really?
Yeah, it's one of those things that can recur.
For the last minute that you're laying on your pain, or what?
Exactly. What they said is that when I hit stage 4, which is the stage at which you can sign up for another transplant, which I don't intend to do, that's when they'll address the issue. That's not okay. Mine's only one small case. And I'm out there and I'm trying really hard not to be quiet about it, because I understand that when those of us who are disabled that are capable of advocating for others, and when we don't, we're doing a disservice. It is I believe it's my civic duty to speak up for others and speak for myself so that it can affect others in a positive way. Solutions come from problems. We need to identify the problems and then work for the solutions.
Oh, I totally think that, but people don't think that with your perspective that way. But yeah, I do agree with that. So, so tell me, what have you encountered barrier within Stockton that you would like to address?
Well, I've had several things happen at City Council. The first time it was an issue with my visual impairment, and I was not allowed to have a little bit extra. I asked for a reasonable accommodation. I was not. I was told maybe, and at the end of the day, I got, I think, 3.5 minutes in, and then he stopped me halfway through, and made me wait 50 minutes to finish my talk, and that destroyed the talk. The last time I showed up, they informed me that the hard of hearing section had changed. They have little paper signs that say city staff, and I had requested previously, about a month ago, I went to council and they had those same signs up, and I said, well, where is the hard of hearing section? And they pointed to where I was actually sitting. And when I sat there this last 2 weeks ago, they informed me that I could no longer sit there. And I said, so where's the designated seating? And I got no response. I asked for it in writing. I got no response. The security guy was really polite. He knows me. And quite frankly, I believe I was being bullied to move from that position because they don't like me. I speak my mind and I speak the truth, and they don't like that.
But I know that since I have not been going to the meeting because I have problem with interpreter service and that they a contract with them. I'm not gonna mention name because it's not really important, but they could have the access to me to go, but the accommodation that provided that service are not there because the interpreters don't want to be live stream because I don't know, they're afraid of their body weight. That's in my opinion. I get mad. You know, they're insecure. I don't know what they're afraid of. But when they're in a contract and they're in agreement with government, they have to acknowledge that is live streaming. And when you go back, they review that meeting. They'll have to watch it too. If they don't have that service, they're not going to be able to find what they're talking about. So that was very difficult for me, and I keep telling the city clerk to cancel and next time when they renew their contract, that contract should be provided by the American Tax Person with Disability that knows what should be in the contract. Not negotiation when it thinking it may be available, what can be served. But it's an option that, okay, you're going to be live streamed, you might be recorded, you're getting paid for that. So that service should be part of that service as well. But CART, I even talk about the city clerk about CART. That is called Communication, Access, Translation Service. That also, you see on TV that CC to have the CC caption. Mm-hmm. Well, they told that in order for them, that I found a local one that provide CART. My friend, her name is Norma Reese. She used to be my captain in the Delta College, and I had her in my real estate class many times. So they told them that there's not a need for that yet. Because just because they're on the contract, it's only provided for Douglas. That's what they told her. And I said, excuse me, it's not just for me, it's just for anybody who requests it, not just me. But like you've been trying to provide CART, and you don't know how to sign. You can't re-sign. No. So for people who take advantage of CART, they have a laptop, and if you have visual problem, they have a font make it larger so you can see when you type it. So you can see a lot bigger what they're talking about, word for word, like in the courtroom setting. So I request that, and they refuse to do that because they're on a contract with that agency. And yet they're supposed to be in ADA, it has to be option. If I go tell the blind person to go to the meeting and have a large print, are they going to be providing that for available the 5 days requesting or not? You know what I mean? Yeah. So sometimes we have to give a little test and see if they really have some kind of accommodation as far as that. That's our city government in Stockton, because I do advocate and support. People know the two things that I advocate. They said the disability and bulliness, but I also advocate that environment are very important to me. Issue, for our future generation, affecting what it's supposed to be. It's still hot. Mm-hmm. The weather having changed. We need to have 4 seasons fall, spring, summer, and winter. Mm-hmm. And now we only got 9 months of summer and 3 months of, if you have 3 months of rain, that's it. Yeah. So an environment is changing as well. As far as my concern, women's right. I mean, they have the right to. That's your body. You do what your choice. It's not a man's world. It's a woman's world controlled by. There's an old saying, "The man is the king of the household." That's what they said. But when the queen goes up, they move the neck of the head of the man. Yes, no. The neck, the woman hold and decide where to go. And also there's a lot about what else? The education that the 503 the IDA, IDA.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
The IDEA.
Yeah, IDA. I call it IDA. So it's that way. But anyway, that's important to me because they, cutting back a lot of fun from the education, especially from Stockton. Yes. I've been hearing a lot, and I just found when I went to some of the people that in the trustee were there, and they told me that they're cutting back budget again.
They are, and one of the things that parents of students with disabilities can do is if you're not quite comfortable with the IEP process and some of the things that are not being done, you can say, no, I'm a former special ed teacher, and Stockton Unified didn't do right by me, so I'm well aware of some of the dirty tactics that they use to cut corners and save money. One of the things that needs to happen is there are surrogate parents that you can request to sit in those IEP meetings. They are trained and they are absolutely advocates. Resources like VMRC and different things like that. Those services, you're allowed to invite anyone you want to your IEPs.
So again, a lot of parents do not know. They just believe what they tell them, what they best know, what they do. Like you said. So for the parent that are involved with that allow their kid expert, what resource are you referring to? They're outside the school board. I mean, that's the district.
What they mean the services they're cutting?
Yeah.
The services they're cutting are in the schools. A lot of times they don't want. Well, what I saw was a lot of speech classes were being.
They're cut back.
Well, they were being cut back, but the reasons they were being cut back, I'm not sure were above board. They didn't necessarily. It didn't matter whether the kid liked it or not. They just didn't want to service them anymore. Okay. And we have a hard time finding speech therapists, no matter where you go. I've seen that happen up in Amador County with my grandchildren.
The last time I went to the school board meeting last year was that they have 5 speech therapists out of, 300 schools they have here.
Yeah, there's a
lot. And that's a lot of responsibility on, and they're talking about giving more money for less staff speech therapists,
Right.
So how they're going to be focusing, but I do believe that when you're a speech therapist and a nurse, and they should know they should have nurses that people that have disability that go to that mainstream school know their file, know things like that, right?
Right. One of the other things that I can do that nobody else can really do as a current teacher, because they're not allowed to, is to let parents know that if your child is, you don't want your child to be tested, you can write a little thing and say, I want my child to be opted out of the testing, and give them a small reason. I don't feel that it's good for them, whatever it may be.
What does opted mean? Why?
In other words, you can fix it so that your child does not have to be tested on statewide tests.
Okay.
State testing, yeah.
Okay, so what, for standardized?
Yeah, one of the things that happens with standardized tests is that all the scores from the school get clumped together. Mm-hmm. The special ed student does not necessarily have materials given to them at their level. And so that drags the scores down. And it's unfair to the school, it's unfair to the children, because they feel like, it's not that, why bother? That most of them don't even try because they're so frustrated with the process. And it hurts the entire school, and the amount of money and the amount of, sometimes it's a form of shutting the public school system down is what it is.
So all right, well, that's something we need to talk about more about that issue, because I do believe that parents who advocate for their children are not knowing, even though they have PTA teacher or whatever, they don't have that resource, the outlet to show, hey, you have the choices. It's not what they say, it's what you say.
Absolutely.
So that you have the power. So with that, and I would like, if We'll talk more about education, but
Okay.
at this moment, education is a very important to me, hot topic for me too. But at this moment, for you, has been gone as a disabled person, you already experience discrimination already.
I have, yes.
So it could be age discrimination, it could be hearing discrimination, it could be social class discrimination. Those are discrimination that Stockton city government had noticed it. I have seen it too. I have witnessed. I'm like, wait a minute. When I go online, I look at the video and I see not even the counters, not even looking at you. They're looking at their phone and looking at it and not taking it seriously. And even the mayor that was here 2 weeks ago talked about the what was it? The city manager tells them, "Oh, don't listen. They don't think." He said, "People who that go there in the podium, they're crazy. Don't listen to them. You know, we already got our agenda. Don't worry about what they say or whatever. They're being victimized or they're loony. They don't pay attention. Don't take it seriously." So I think that, to me, that is disrespectful for our constituent and very disrespectful for just letting know the mayor had just came out from a position that they were told not to say nothing to us. Like a promise. Okay, well, we'll keep it to ourselves, but once you get voted out, you can say whatever you want. You can say all the bullshit, excuse my language, all the bull crap you say. But in the same time, you got to understand that they have agenda, they have roll call, they have people that are not, what do you call it? We have new council members that, to me, when you're in 2 years, I was told that when you're in 2 years on the council, you start to know what's going on. So you're just learning. Then once you hit the 2 year mark, then you're like, oh, okay, I got it now. Right. But as far as I can, that's what I've been told. You know, so I don't know if it's true or not, but not everyone is a politic. They have good heart, but a lot of people say, Doug, you had too much heart. That's why you didn't get voted in. I think, well, do I have to be just like the crook they do? No. Why should I be like them? Right. I will be, just because they have 5 board members that focus on general education, and the teachers are asking me, why, what are you going to do for general ed? Well, why should I worry about general ed? They have 5 people, majority, that focus on their agenda, and I'm working on special ed. I need to make sure their contract is up to date, make sure their union is up to date, make sure that the money that's well spent on their program is well taking it good. You know what I mean? That I'm reinvesting it, but yet they didn't see that my integrity. That's what it. Oh, Doug, you're wishy-washy. Oh, Doug, you're not really know what you're standing for. You only have 3 things you need to work for, and then you have to find 3 other platforms you need to work. And I'm like, wait a minute, I don't need that. I don't need it all stress. I'm there because I'm very sincerely want to work for you guys. And when I'm working for you guys, I am loyal to whoever who voted me in. I'm saying, look, this is what I'm going to do. This is what's going to happen, and things like that. And that's the thing about running for school board and running for city council and the supervisor. They have different agenda. They have budget. They have 300. You know they would have $300 million budget. Is that right?
Wow, I do not know. I know
They're
it's big,
holding
but
it.
yeah. They have a lot of money.
Yeah, but a lot. And when I file a suit against them that are not in compliance, people are asking, "What are you talking about? That we're not compliant?" My interpreter couldn't hear. That's only we had an interpreter for you. We had an interpreter for you. I said, no, it's not the interpreter that were provided. They couldn't hear what they were talking about. They couldn't know who the name, who were talking, anything like that. I followed up, but they were laughing. I never got a sorry. I didn't mean to, anything like that. But it just showed that I was a bigger person. I was like, you know what, I'm gonna let it go, and that's what happened.
And one of the things that I see as maybe necessary is a board of trustees member that specifically does the fighting for that population. because we don't have someone that actually represents. Through the special ed office, they have a compliance person. But that's only if that. But well, they can't. They worry about the paperwork end. And this is much bigger than just paperwork.
Yeah, because I know a lot of people, I go to both sides. One want to get a new compliant building, and there's another side that here say, no, we don't want them to get a new building. That money should go to the education. So they're like way between two different top, and they're both, what the word I'm looking for? They're both good point. You know, complying for the teacher, complying for the staff, complying for the transparency. That's what I'm talking about. They don't want to have transparency. Oh no, I have to put a video. No, we don't want video because just because they have the audio, it's all out of dated. That's what I noticed. It's out of date. They want to be secret about it, and I got mad. I said, wait a minute, why do you have to be so secret? Because Julie Penn been on the superintendent for a long time. Thing that they're doing just right, just they're compliant, and I didn't appreciate that. But at the same time, there's a lot of people that are not transparent regarding with disability, and they're combining, they're together. So if I would have won, I would definitely have to get a lot of improvement. They have to comply with the interpreter. They have to comply for the closed caption. They have to comply for reasonable accommodation. So everything that I have to establish be established by the school all over. Yeah. So I think that's something that have not been looked at, and people were telling me that I was just a pawn of just people that was I hate method saying that you're not going to be there. You're not going to be there. And that's it. That was just a pawn. But at the same time, I made my statement. Whether you win or lose, you make a statement to run. But as far as complying goes, as an advocate, I work very hard. Like you said, we go to the city hall and say, we make our objective. Say, look, we need to get this disabled, impairment, hard of depth area, which I work hard for that. I had a lawyer. I made sure they had an interpreter. I made sure they have a compliant. That was like right there. Now I'm not there that much. They're cutting corner. Why is that? And then I have to come back, see my real disability and real you're being difficult with other people.
Yeah. One of the things I see as part of the problem is that even the mayor's task force. His commission for the disabled does not meet regularly. They have canceled 3 times that I know of, and a couple times most recently. Things don't change. I understand that body doesn't have any actual power, but when they're not even taking the issues to the mayor or to his assistants or whomever it is they talk to, then our voice isn't heard, and that's not okay. It's just a dog and pony show, and dog and pony shows really kind of tick me off. Either you have integrity or you don't, and without services being provided, like commissions, the people might just have to show up at council and let them know that we're here. That's what we do. We show up and we say, when I speak at council, I know that they don't necessarily pay attention to me. I know they don't like me, but I know they don't pay attention to me. And so when I talk, I try to address the public so that they get the message of what I'm saying, so that they understand what's really going on, not just the noise they hear from the newspaper or from the local reporters that want to report whatever they have on their agenda.
Right.
It's about the real people and the real story.
I think also, like I protest not buying their newspaper, and I got an email from the Stockton Area that it's an electronic edition, $13 a week. Yeah. With no paper, yeah, 2 months. I'm like,
I don't even pay that much for my entire internet service.
It's $52 a month. Why? I'm like, don't they have advertising that pay for those newspaper? do they have anything that provides those provided that? Because to me, the tabloid, I don't really take them serious. I used to go there and buy their paper at Friday, where it used to be 75 cents, and they have the coupons, everything.
Yep.
Now, I don't even go buy the news because some of those paper, those junk mail, I even look for coupon there. I think it's every Tuesday or Thursday that we get the junk mail, and I just kind of look at it and oh, they have Arby's special. I don't have to worry about buying on the newspaper. It's good. I mean, things are changing. People are not reflecting Stockton record at the tabloid. That's what I noticed at the tabloid. And for me...
Although I did get a good press report on my artwork recently.
You did?
But that's was from Joy.
Okay.
Denise, yes.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, that's awesome, because I think there's a few good
There are still a few reporters.
Yeah, and then they do that, but they do it voluntarily.
Yeah.
The ones that actually staff and pay, they go by their own protocol and who the editor, I do not know. But a lot of disability who read newspaper think that they're fake news, and I have been hearing a lot. So if I don't support them, I'm sure the other people are not going to be supporting them either. No matter how much they advertise and to show publicity, they have a really negative thing on that record.
One of the things that people talk a lot about is fake news. Back in the old day, we called it yellow journalism, propaganda. It's deliberate. It's deliberate, and it is deliberately misleading to the public, and it's not okay. This is our country, this is our city, and journalism needs to be based in reality, not fiction. And we have a lot of fiction in our media, and it's really sad, whether it be in print or on television.
On television, and even in the internet, people watch
even
it.
Including on the radio. It's everywhere.
Yes. Okay. So now, so what are you doing in response to the public comment that, I mean, it's true that the city is not taking. So what are you doing? You have people that are filing ADA compliant on the city of Stockton. What is on your
and one of the things that has to happen is we need to file through I think it's the housing authority.
The housing. So why the housing authority?
I'm not sure, because you do it through them, and somehow they transfer you to the state, and Department of Fair Housing, I think, is what it's called.
Okay.
And from there you file a complaint, and I started it at one point after the Vigil issue. And I don't know what happened. I was a little sidetracked by my other health issues.
Okay.
So I dropped the ball. But that's what needs to happen, is that those of us who are being discriminated against because of their inability to focus on what we have to say as having meaning, we need to get together and file we'll start with the complaint process, but if that doesn't work, we can always go class action lawsuit. This is really a big issue when you're cutting the largest minority of people out of the process. It's not okay.
Yeah, I totally agree. So I know that somebody blogged your video on the internet. I was like, wow, that was very impressive. So can you explain what you were talking about when you were at the podium? Okay, because some of the people will not know. Okay.
Right. One of the things I brought up was the fact that the city, through the Stockton Police Department, gives fathers and families money to work with the police, and I'm not sure exactly what their jobs are or what they do, but they were given a grant of $50,000 to plant some trees on an empty lot. They received the money back in April, and those trees are still not planted. So I'm kind of curious, and what I said was, why is the city still giving money to these people when they haven't done the job they were set out to do in the first place? And I'm not sure if that was for the city or not that grant came from, but the issue, I'm pretty sure it was, but just in case it wasn't, the idea is that they just got another $600,000 grant. Now, $600,000, and they're trying to, last I heard, and I may be wrong, but one of the things I was told is that they are trying to, I believe it's McKinley Park, I'm not sure. There's a park downtown where there's a police substation, and they want the police to move out and them to move in. And I get it. They're a group that does a lot of good stuff. For some folks that have made bad choices and they're coming out and they're trying to regain their status in society. But some of the handlers of that group are not so much on the up and up, and I really want to know why we continue to give them money.
So as far as the accountability, are not. So why have they not been reported to the FTC or not FTC? What do you call that?
Yeah, is it the FPP? Fair political practices.
Political practice,
and they have
attacked,
they have.
Oh, they have.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
They were actually fined at one point. And I believe it. I'm not sure whose campaign it was about, but yeah, they helped on a campaign, and they are a 501c3, and that's not okay.
Interesting, because I believe that I understand that the newspaper, they retract, misprint, but here they're talking, you can't retract what you say.
No.
And then it's good to have some information about. If you're wrong, you made a mistake, correct it. Hey, I'm sorry, I made a mistake. Let's move on. But when you talk about choosing your words wisely, when you're talking about reprinting track or misleading the public, like intentionally misleading the public to go to their agenda there's not a thing that happened about all the garbage that on the freeway. And then I know that somebody just pop up on Facebook, and I saw a whole bunch, and it was not on the newspaper or on TV, on Channel 40, Channel Fox, or Channel 13, KXVS, whatever. They're not even, they're not sending their, what do you call that? The people that hire the publish, the mayor task, public press.
What's
going on.
His spokesperson.
Yeah, the spokesperson are not allowing the news media have access to what's really going on in Stockton Area. They're not returning their calls. They're not returning their this. So there's like it's like a convenient thing to do to focus on what particular person doing the good publicity. That's what it is, really publicity for them. That's their job, to publicize their event, their status, their people, whatever. But yeah, they don't go into the real problem and focus on that. Focus on that issue of littering thing. No, I remember a long time ago, littering, you get a fine and you have to pay the ticket. Now you can't. There's so many small laws that have not been enforced. You know that?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There's a lot of laws not being enforced. One of them is traffic. Traffic laws are not being enforced in this town at all. It blows the mind. I drive very little anymore because it's dangerous to drive out there. People run red lights all day long. Nobody stops at stop signs anymore. It's like insane.
They think that when you go through God and you see a police taking out you're being stereotyped, a profile. That's what they call profile. So I mean, there's a double standard. That it's a profile thing that the police have to pursue somebody, like, I don't know, 2 or 3 times. This thing like, okay, are we ready to catch him? We have to find a reason to pull him over. Oh, and I have been profile. You don't know why.
Well, and one of the things that people don't know is that when you have something hanging from your mirror, that gives them an automatic excuse to pull you over. That's an automatic, and
really?
They rarely write you up for it because it gives them an automatic excuse to pull you over the next time as well. So there's a lot of tricks that they use. Boy, am I going to be making some policeman mad. But,
well,
but you know, I mean, that is something.
It's a reality show right now. So.
It is the law. You're not supposed to hang things from your mirror, from your rearview mirror. And lots of people do. If you counted a car at any given stoplight, you'd see probably 20 or 30 cars go through with things hanging from their but it's not legal to do that, including your handicap placards.
Those
are obstructions to your vision, and that's how they'll write it up. Whether it obstructs your vision or not, that's how it gets written up.
Interesting. That's something new. I did not know that.
Yep.
So there's a lot of traffic laws that have not been enforced. There's a city dumpster, the city garbage have not enforced. They used to get tickets to people who left their trash in the front of the house, and they get cited. And no, they don't. It's either they're too lazy to go out and enforce it. What do you call code enforcer?
Code enforcement doesn't have enough. I don't know about city. I know county doesn't have enough. They don't have enough people to cover the area.
Okay.
City may have a similar issue because of the bankruptcy. We never rehired.
Honestly, bankruptcy. I think bankruptcy. Honestly, excuse me for cutting you off. To me, that's an excuse. I think that's an excuse. It's been done. I mean.
You're correct. That is true. One of the issues is that when we were going through it, though, the issue was to try to. I'm sorry, I'm going to say it. It was designed to break the unions. It was designed to break the unions, and when that happened, what we saw is a lot of people were laid off. Others lost their medical care that they had been promised. Through their retirement
I think you brought that up because I think, quite frankly, people need to understand what you said. I understand what was it for, why did it happen.
Well, and one of the reasons why I brought that up is as I went to go to the clerk's office the other day, the city hall is still closed on every other Friday, and this last month it was closed 3 times. Now, that's 3 days that the public can't be served. And there was a holiday on top of that. So the holiday is a given. But 3 days a month, this last month, we could not be serviced. And not everybody has time to run down there 15 times to see which day, they're open. And that kind of thing, the idea that we're going to go buy a new building, we haven't rehired people. We still don't have enough officers on board, and they've collected a whole bunch of money through Measure A.
Well, when I was in the Civil Service Commissioner, they were not recruiting officers. They were promoting each other. So whenever they promote each other, they promote back up and up. Okay, so if there was an opening, the first thing they do, they open up, and there were and then when I get a form saying that reason for their dismissal, for their test, they fail for their test, their psychiatric evaluation, they fail for everything, and they have 1 year to go back and take it over again. So but it's a lot of, like you say, dirty thing that they do just before they hire somebody to make sure they cover their back, and then move on. And I love serving the Civil Service Commissioner because I was honored. I was the first deaf Civil Service Commissioner, and it was not announced publicly. Just like the black mayor, first black mayor, but yet I was the first deaf on top of all board members of being disabled. Yeah. And that was an honor. I respect it and think that as soon as I resigned from my position because their lack of consideration from my part that this interpreting service was not doing right. So I have a right to fire them, and I said, get another one, because they were more concerned about the money, the budget. Well, they pay less, they pay more. I say, look, cities, Stockton, if I use district, use another service in Sacramento. Their budget's over there. They use them a lot. I went to different communities, and they provide those things like that, quick, and they're on top of it. But they have so many cheap and they don't come. They gave me the access, but they're not. But when the interpreter comes to my thing, they're not accommodating me what I need to help them to understand where they're coming from. So there's a different Vigil. You know what I'm talking about?
I do it, and it is a lack of integrity on the part of the city. When you're not serving the public through services that are adequate, it's the same as not giving them services. If the services are inadequate for that individual, then you need to do something different. And they refuse to. And that's not okay.
Yeah, because you should see, you go 2 months ago, you should see me that I was not voting. But when I went to go back last month, I looked and they said Doug Vigil voted this, and they were not paying attention. I did not vote for none of them. I didn't vote in the agenda because I couldn't see what was going on. They had it way far out, and I didn't vote for the chair. I didn't vote for the vice chair. I didn't vote for the other items that were there. I did not put it, and that's what got me really mad, because I would put it in a position that I could not able to do it. I could not function my work. Because I could not see my interpreter because they were right there. Because instead of making sure they come, I told them to come over here. They knew better to come. I had a text from the supervisor saying that I should have asked permission. Normally, I always ask permission, but I got busy. When you came to the Maritime Person with Disability, I got distracted. So I said, hi, welcome to this, and then an interpreter, and also we started the meeting project. And then one of the interpreters got upset because I was bidding you. And I was not bidding her, I was bidding you and the other people there, that the 5 minutes, 3 minutes was not there. You were on priority status. It's just an example that disabled person that came to the comment was considered the first thing to come up and talk and what was going on. And that was a good example. But yet I got a text from the supervisor saying you should ask permission. By the time I came to the Civil Service Commission, they wanted to talk to me. The meeting has already started, so they already had set, and I couldn't talk to them, so I was already starting the meeting. So they deliberately went back behind the camera, and you could go back. If you go back and go to the Civil Service Commission, you'll see that there was no available. I couldn't see it that far.
Yeah.
So that in that content, it should be available for viewing, for consideration. So that was not, like you said, accommodation for me.
Yeah. If it's not a viable one anyway.
Yes. So now, to let you know, as far as that concerned, so what are you gonna do to solve the situation? Now, Stockton's gonna have a meeting on Tuesday, which I'm gonna go, which I'm gonna have no interpreter, which I'm gonna go to make sure that they have the deaf area there. Okay, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna see what they're gonna say to me, and tell them, look, I've been fighting for a long time. I've been there for 2015 now. So if they don't tell me to move, there's gonna be a lot of things like going back. And
I was ready to be arrested.
But yeah, I think that to me that it's just cutting back. Like I said, it's to me honestly what's happening at the city hall, that it's social discrimination, it's disability discrimination, it's just disabled discrimination, and the lack of too much dictator. To me, it looked like a dictator to me when I go there. Even to the meeting, it looked like a dictator. It's another Trump. I thought Tub looked like me of a Trump, but I don't know though. But if I went in the beginning, when he's doing some good somehow, it's making changes, and I have to give them a benefit of the doubt, as far as that concern as well, because I know he's a young person, and I understand he have people advising him the wrong way, but at the same time he have an option to say no or an option to say yes, things like that. But I give him the benefit of the doubt. He's a good mayor. I do think that he having a big head about that, about fighting against disabled, is not good.
Yeah.
What do you?
I'm not sure that I would
agree.
Well, no, I'm not sure that I would give all the blame to him. He did own some of that blame for what happened to me.
Okay.
But there was the city spokesperson and not the one he hired,
Okay.
has an issue with me, and I think that was more pointed. That's why I said bullying.
Okay.
I really felt like it was bullying from that.
Okay,
particular
now it
individual.
needs to be solved. We clarify what is said. So, all right. Well, time is out of time. Thank you for watching. Thank you, Diane, for being an advocate and a spokesperson in the city of Stockton. I think that's a wonderful reality show that we are disabled need to start changing. Transparency, opening, accessibility. I think you do the good. Keep doing what you do good. I mean, I think that is wonderful. I'm gonna get you back here again for education purpose. I think that we need to discuss about what their resources will be for parents with disabled, because I do believe that they don't know their option, and I really think that they need to have their right to view that right for their children and have power and advocate for them as well. Well, thank you for coming on a Sunday. I know you should be spending time with your family. So I really appreciate bringing up the situation, what you've been going through. So I hope that things will change afterward. Okay?
Thank you very much.
All right. Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
KXVS, the voice of Stockton live. The voice of Stockton at Stone Soup Studio.